Hello everyone. The author that I think every librarian should know about is Vashti Harrison. Both a renowned author and illustrator, her contributions to children's literature are impactful and essential. She brings voices to the unknown, inspires young readers to dream big, and captivates readers with her vibrant illustrations. Harrison brings life to stories that celebrate diversity, history, self-acceptance, inclusion, and inspiration. She believes in the art of storytelling and expresses this art form through various media formats. Vashti Harrison is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Little Leaders, Little Dreamers, and Little Legends. She has won many awards and expressed her artistic talent through multiple mediums. Let's take a moment to look at her life, accomplishments, awards, and impact on children's literature. Vashti Harrison was born in 1988 in Onley, Virginia, to an African-American father and an Indian mother who was originally from Trinidad and Tobago. She was described as a quiet and polite student by her tag teacher, Miss Corson. From an early age, she was passionate about storytelling, drawing, and art. In an article by Sarah Hall, she quotes Harrison as she discusses her relationship to books as a child. Harrison says this is something that stayed with her as she began to write her own stories. She wanted to see people like her in these books. I didn't think books were for me. That didn't stop me from being a reader, and it didn't stop me from being a good student. But I think about that a lot. It could have stopped the kid sitting next to me. Vashti Harrison. In 2010, she graduated from the University of Virginia, where she earned her Bachelor of Arts, majoring in both media studies and studio art. After graduating, Harrison took a trip to Trinidad and Tobago for the first time and drew inspiration from the storytelling, folklore, and culture she experienced there. You can see this inspiration in many of her early films as well as her books. Her films include Field Notes, 16, and Forged from the Love of Liberty. These speak to her Caribbean ancestry, including her interest in storytelling through folklore and fairy tale. As she began to build a career in film, Vashti Harrison continued to draw and paint. She used her social media platform to promote her work. She attended many conferences, film festivals, contests, and eventually signed with Simon & Schuster as an illustrator. In an interview in Kidlit 411, Harrison discussed her transformation from film to illustrations. She says, "While I was finishing my thesis film in my final year, I decided to take a drawing class for fun. I drew a lot as a child, through high school and into college, but once I started making films, I stopped. I was so frustrated that I couldn't keep up with the undergrads in that program that I made it a personal goal to draw every day. Fast forward 2 years. I was nervous and insecure about my illustration, but I joined SCBWI so I would have some guidance in this world of publishing. I submitted an illustration in the #DrawThis competition, and it won. It was placed in the monthly newsletter, which caught the eye of an art director, and I got my first book offer. Later that year, I went to the SCBWI Mid-Atlantic Conference, where I met my agent." Well, it's a good thing that Harrison continued to draw because her illustrations and books have won many awards over the years. Her books speak to all types of kids from varying backgrounds, and her work should be celebrated. Harrison's work has received numerous awards, including the Coretta Scott King Illustrator Honor for Little Leaders, Bold Woman in Black History. This book's inspiration came from a series of Instagram posts Harrison created during Black History Month. Her goal was to highlight a new person every day. This project was expanded into a book where Harrison highlights the achievements, stories, and lives of Black women throughout our history. The illustrations in this book are bright, playful, and expressive. This book went on to inspire 2 others, Little Dreamers, Visionary Women Around the World, and Little Legends, Exceptional Men in Black History. Harrison received the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Literary Work and Caldecott Honor for Hair Love. Hair Love explores themes of self-acceptance and family love. It has been adapted into an Oscar-winning short film. The illustrations in Hair Love use a somewhat animated style of art. They help to convey emotion and tell the story. Hair Love highlights the relationship between Zuri and her father, which is something that we don't typically see, especially when it comes to hair care. Harrison uses themes of diversity, self-acceptance, and family support in many of her works. She highlights multicultural families and cultures, which is something that, unfortunately, not enough authors do. This book resonates with me deeply, as I felt lost when I was doing my own daughter's hair. Another beautifully illustrated book that Harrison illustrated is Selway, which won a 2020 NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Literary Work in the Children category, and here is why. The illustrations are phenomenal. The story speaks on colorism and teaches young readers self-acceptance. It brings you through the journey of Selway, who does not feel that the color of her skin is beautiful. The art within this book adds a magical, mystical, and almost dreamlike quality to the story. The celestial figures she encounters contribute to the story's themes of inner beauty and self-worth. Personally, I enjoyed how skin tones were compared to the beauty of night and day, and that we need both tones to exist in harmony, showcasing the need for all shades and colors to work together in existence for harmony. These themes can be seen in many of Harrison's books and is one of the main reasons as to why I think her work is so important. Most recently, in 2024, she won the Caldecott Medal and Coretta Scott King Honor for her newest release, Big. This book, both written and illustrated by her, is a powerful book about feeling too big and the many meanings behind the word. In an interview with Virginia Soul Smith, Harrison discusses some of inspiration for this book. She says, "I wanted to talk about how, at a certain point in most girls' lives, particularly in America, big goes from being a positive thing to being a negative thing. I wanted the inciting incident to be something that felt nearly innocuous. It's an event, it's something that happens, and she is changed after it. She takes in the words that people say to her, and it changes the way she feels about herself and experiences the world. It is a story about the words we say to one another and also about how we offer children, or how we don't offer children, the space to change and grow because of these weird expectations about what innocence looks like." This book, just like many of her others, evoked so many feelings. In this particular part, we can see the main character giving back hurtful words. It makes you think about our own choices of words and how they can affect others, especially kids. The book touches on how at one point being big is a compliment, but it changes connotation as we actually grow. As you can see from this illustration, and basically all of her illustrations, emotion is so easily and accurately depicted. I was watching an interview with Harrison and Dulce Sloan from The Daily Show, where she discusses that she did not give the child a name in this story because she did not want the story to be about one person in particular. Big can be much more than just one person, and I can personally relate to that. I believe that every librarian should be aware of Vashti Harrison's work. Her commitment to multicultural representation is evident in all her works. By providing young readers with diverse role models and stories that reflect a variety of cultural experiences, she helps foster inclusivity and empathy. Representation in children's literature is crucial for creating a more understanding and accepting world. Her books inspire young readers to love themselves and strive for their dreams. Librarians can play a crucial role in promoting literature that reflects the diverse experiences of all children. Vashti Harrison's work encourages diversity and representation and inspires self-acceptance. Vashti Harrison's contributions to children's literature are invaluable. Her work celebrates diversity, teaches important lessons, and inspires young readers to embrace their unique identities. I encourage all librarians to explore and promote her work. Thank you.